So I just had that wonderful introduction, and I appreciate the fact that you mentioned the Washington Post article that talked about my coming out. You know, that got set in motion a few months earlier when Ron asked me if I wanted to go. I filled out the questionnaire, and he asked me if I wanted to go public with my position on religion. And it was an easy answer. I wanted to, but I wanted to go through a bit of a process because it was kind of a big deal to me, as I'm sure it is to everyone who has kind of come to terms with their religion or lack thereof. And so I started talking to some very close friends and family members and kind of made the rounds and did some vetting. And to a person, everyone thought it was a terrible idea. In fact, one of my closest friends and someone whose judgment I really do admire and take seriously really tried to talk me off the ledge and convinced me that there was nothing but downside to doing this. And, you know, he's worried that I might someday want a cabinet position or, you know, most of my friends are much more ambitious for my politics than I am. So, you know, I kind of heard them out, but at the end of the day, it just felt like the right thing to do, to step forward and be true to myself, and to the point that was just made. It has to be okay for someone who's non-religious or humanist or agnostic or atheist to serve in the United States Congress. Nevertheless, I was nevertheless bracing for the backlash that everybody told me was coming. You know, I was certain that there was going to be this huge backlash that I would regret, and it just never came. That's what's been really interesting about it. I got nothing but support from my constituents, my family members, and most of my friends. At the end of the day, were really proud of me. And months went by, and with a little more collaboration with Ron and Roy and others, we managed to pull together a group of members of Congress, more than I even thought possible, who wanted to form this caucus. And so I can now tell you that it's official. The Freethought Caucus of the United States Congress is up and running. We're going to have our first official meeting this week, although we've had several kind of preparatory meetings. And I just want to share with you the mission statement of this caucus, because I think it's a group that you're going to want to work with. We certainly want to work with you. But here's what we're all about. The Freethought Caucus is, one, to promote public policy formed on the basis of reason, science, and moral values. Two, to protect the secular character of our government by adhering to the strict constitutional principle of the separation of church and state. Three, to oppose discrimination against atheists, agnostics, humanists, seekers, and non-religious folks, and to champion the value of freedom of thought and conscience worldwide. And fourth, to provide a forum for members of Congress to discuss their moral frameworks, ethical values, and personal religious journeys. And I've got quite a few colleagues that support these principles and want to actively meet and collaborate with their colleagues and with all of you toward all of those ends. So, thank you. Thank you again. I really wasn't looking to get awards or recognition or anything when I decided to come out. But the fact that you're out there, the fact that you've got my back, and the fact that you're doing terrific work on these issues that we all care so much about just really means a lot to me. Thanks for this honor.